I was diagnosed with neurofibromatosis at age 6. After that diagnosis, my doctor informed me and my mother that because it was active in my body, I'd pretty much be fighting cancer the second half of my life. I didn't think it was gonna take 35 years, but it did. And that was in January 2012. From that diagnosis, it turned into a 11 operation, 385 tumor excision journey of my life. But I'm a better person because of it. I don't work out, I train to live. My name is D. Anthony Evans, and this is my story.
My name is D. Anthony Evans. I'm I consider myself an 11-time cancer survivor and thriver because I've had over 385 tumors removed from my body to date, 11 operations, and was given 6 months to live almost 7 years ago. So I've dedicated the rest of my life because I've come through a death sentence to advocacy and awareness.
And you're 40, how old are you at the moment?
I'm 7 years old because I've only been living the way I'm living for 7 years, but technically I am 41 years old. I'll be 42 on December 21st, so in a few weeks, couple months.
And you've had this terminal illness, which I guess you wouldn't say you've cured it, right?
Wouldn't say that So I'm battling two battles. I mean, neurofibromatosis is like intertwined in my central nervous system, so that'll never go away. All we can do is, kind of try to stagnate the progression. And I'm convinced that this lifestyle transition has done that because my body in 7 years should probably be riddled with more tumors, and they kind of have not, none have disappeared, but I don't really have any new ones.
Right. And what's been the worst one, man? What's been the worst tumor?
The worst tumor would be the one on my spine because I did have cancer in between my scalp and my skull as well. But that, to me, it doesn't even compare to, having a 2-pound tumor on your spine. That was malignant. Like the tumor in my head, it visually looks horrible, but it wasn't as bad as the one on my spine.
How long ago was that?
That was 2012.
And what happened in 2012?
In 2012, I was experiencing extreme back pain. Was a power lifter, had been ignoring this specific pain for upward of 4 or 5 years, and just doing what men do. It'll go away, it'll work itself out. Until I found myself on my knees at the University of Chicago, begging the intake nurse to page my doctor, who I hadn't talked to in 17 years. And basically, I was experiencing extreme back pain and
you were a bodybuilder at this point, right?
My body strength, I say power lifter.
So people probably see you come in and think, this guy, what's he talking about?
Exactly. And I had tears in my eyes, and I probably appeared to be a big baby, but that pain, I don't even know what to equate it with. But it was so much so that it had me at that hospital on my knees.
And they excised it, right? Eventually, you persuaded them to.
Absolutely. They paged it. They paged my doctor. In a nutshell, it was determined that there was a 2-pound, 7-centimeter mass flush on my spine. It was originally deemed inoperable, but my doctor kind of fought for me, and they made me sign a lot of waivers, but they went ahead and did the operation, and I was very grateful. And I celebrated for 2 weeks until that pathology report came. And when the pathology report came, it was determined that I was positive for for MPNST rather.
Can you give a background to that for people that aren't really familiar? It's a rare condition,
sarcoma. Right? So NF patients, you got 2 types of NF patients. The ones who have a positive mindset no matter what, and then the ones that wake up every day like, is this the day that my benign tumors convert into a malignancy? And it's every NF kid's parents' nightmare. It was my mother's nightmare. It's just, it's there. It's like at any moment, this can spontaneously turn into a malignant tumor. And that's basically what happened, brother.
And what happened? That was 2012,
That was
right?
2012.
And what I want to know is like how you are here today now. From then, just really briefly, you met somebody that changed your life, right?
Absolutely. I met master vegan chef David Choi, who is a world-renowned. He's like the guy in the shadows that trains other cooks and other chefs but doesn't want the credit. Like, he's a Buddhist monk, so they're all about humility. Just how he told me, don't tell anybody, but I have to share this with the world. Like, I'm not supposed to be telling everybody that he's the one, but
It's the message. It's the message, right?
it's the message. I don't know how to not tell the world, like, who is really responsible for me being here still. It's through this man's teaching me this re-education of eating, living, training, and mindset.
They're the three things, right?
Yes.
The plant-based diet,
Yes,
the
sir.
training, which
Yes.
you do 6 hours a day,
Yes,
and
sir.
the positive mental attitude.
Exactly.
They're the
All
tools.
firing at the same time, though.
And that's your message for people who've got chronic diseases, rare diseases. If you give those a shot, you might be able to reverse, treat, or manage them, right?
Exactly. It will do wonders, because our mind doesn't need any help being negative. Our mind is a master of negativity. What we need is a lot of positive energy, and what he taught me is how to just create positive distractions, because your brain will always tell you, is cancer's coming, and that's normal. But your job is to figure out how do I counterbalance that negative energy? And that's through the diet, the lifestyle, the helping others. When I help people, it somehow empowers me and makes my situation, I forget about my situation.
Before you started helping people and becoming the inspirational speaker that you are today, though, how did the story of recovery unfold?
Oh, man, I was the most negative person I knew. When your mother dies the second week of junior year in 1993 from AIDS and HIV, when if you told anybody you were sick, they would stop talking to you. They wouldn't call the house. My friends couldn't come over. It was just a very lonely island that she put us on for the goodness of everybody else. She could have just kept it a secret. And she chose to grab a microphone and condoms and HIV prevention literature and get plugged into boards and dedicate her body for research. All those drugs that everybody's living off of now, I was scraping yeast off her tongue with a butter knife because she was one of the test subjects early on in this movement. So
That's where you come from.
yeah, when you were growing up and you're watching the only person that you're watching your whole world die, but live with her chest out and she's smiling, you never see her in pain, and you know what it is, it does something to you. But I didn't get it until I got sick, And my grandmother told me, you got this for a reason, because I was gonna fight this in the closet until people where I come from had learned that I was sick. And then if you don't speak about things, people will create your narrative for you. And that's kind of what happened. People were reaching out to my family members. We hear D's not doing well. Where do we send flowers? And I think he's, when's the funeral? It was just getting out of hand. And she was encouraging me, you have to speak up. You have to tell your side of the story. And in turn, I know you've been hiding this your entire life and the tumors have always bothered you, but it's your turn. Either they're gonna create your history or you are. And I made a decision. If you scroll in my Facebook all the way back to 2012, I make a declaration to the peanut gallery. I say, it has come to my attention that certain people think that I am dying. I'm here to tell you I am sick. I do have cancer. But if you think I'm dying, you just pay attention. And every day since then, I've got up in the morning, I've posted where I'm at, and just put out positive energy. Every single post. If you look for the last 7 years, there's not one negative post in 7 years about anything. Nothing. Because when you understand that there's nobody in the history of your situation who has thrived, who's come through this, who's not an amputee, or who hasn't had a limb removed, and you're walking and running and doing muscle ups and things that regular healthy people can't do, life means something totally different to you. You know, it's that serious.
And what do you say to the doctors then that can't believe the results that you've experienced?
What do I say to them? I say to them, you know, we're at a day and time where we need to start looking at everything and take off your horse blinders, okay?
Right.
Because your horse blinder mentality are causing fatalities. Like, your stubbornness is the result of people losing their life, and that's just not right.
And they probably say, like, there's
not enough science.
Yeah. They say there's a general consensus that healthy lifestyle mindset helps, but yours is like an anomaly, right?
Mine is an anomaly until I hit the 5-year threshold, and then...
Which was what, in 2000 and...
I said that was 2015.
2015, you're 5 years clear, right?
5 years.
And then they have to officially acknowledge it.
They have to officially acknowledge it and move me into the survivor bracket. But man, by 2015, I had turned into a new guy that was doing things that the fat dude couldn't do. Like, I've been fit boy and fat boy. And just fit boy is just, he's just a lot more cooler, he's a lot leaner. You know, he sleeps less, he can go harder. You know, it's just a better life.
So you got all these emails and calls saying, come to this conference, speak at this school.
Yes.
And you started, is that when you started doing that full time?
That's when I started doing it full time. My brief introduction to the speaking, though, was through, you know, trying to volunteer with the Cancer Society and being a survivor speaker. And that kind of just got my feet wet. And then the response I was getting from cancer survivors, caregivers, and just family members, they were like, you got to keep doing this. Like, I came here
it's rewarding,
down.
Right? It
Yeah,
really rewarding.
It was rewarding. And it was actually impacting lives. You know, it's one thing to be talking, like I heard you say earlier, but it's impact. What is your talking doing? Is it impacting life, or is it just floating through the air?
Right,
and that's
right.
the distinct difference.
So solution-based, right?
Exactly. And that's a little bit different than what everybody else is doing. Like, I'm talking, and then I'm gonna give you a protocol that worked for me. Like, I really don't share things that I haven't been the guinea pig and done it myself. I'm not really big on sponsoring or endorsing things that D. Anthony Evans hasn't done. Mm-hmm. And people know that. Like, I'm not really gonna speak on it if I haven't experienced it.
So when people do what you recommend and you give them ideas for the protocols and diet and like positive mental attitude, all that sort of stuff, have they experienced what you've experienced? Have you got any case studies or
brother,
anecdotes?
I got PET scan results. I have tangible people that'll get on camera and be like, they took me off the terminal list.
Testimonials.
They pulled the port out of my chest that they said would be there forever until I died. Mm-hmm. Several.
I think that from your point of view, the most interesting one was the scan they did in your chest. What are the dots they found,
the
right?
Mets, yeah,
and
the
doctor
dots.
couldn't, over about a year of you doing your pine nut diet, your healthy plant-based diet, they started to recede and go away.
Exactly.
And the doctor couldn't believe it. Right? Do you want to speak to that?
Believe it. Yeah. So let me.
This was what, 2000 and.
This was 2012, going into 13. Was on a rigorous operation schedule. Had 7 back-to-back 9-hour operations between January and November of 2012. They gave me a break in December. Met my teacher, and you know, I started doing some of the things that I was taught, you know, and this is very early in the transition. I don't even know that I was all the way in or really believed it, but I knew it was all I had. My doctor sent me home to die, so I got to give this a shot. But I began doing the things I was told, baking soda cleanse and things of that nature. And when we got to January, every surgery you have a pre-op appointment, and at my pre-op appointment they take another slide to just make sure we're not doing the surgery for nothing. They don't want to cut you up and it not be what it was in November. Man, My doctor postponed the surgery that he was so adamant on having. I understand how when you have cancer on your spine or close to your spine, it's probably gonna metastasize to your lungs. This is an astrophysics. A 3-year-old could probably predict that. And there were 2 spots that he was, telling me he was concerned about, but we were gonna wait. So January came, did the pre-op, and he said, D, let's just wait till February. There's something real interesting going on your slides. I said, okay. We waited till February. February came. He wanted to postpone it again. I'm getting a little antsy because there's a lot that goes into preparing for a surgery. I literally train like
You train to live, man.
I train to live, baby. Like I'm going to the Super Bowl or a heavyweight fight. Like my body.
How many hours are we talking in the gym?
I'm talking about 6, 7 till I drop.
Body weight stuff, cardio.
Body weight, cardio, but it's all about endurance. It's not how strong you are, it's how long you're strong. And when they cut your body open and bring your heart rate down to death, cut you open, sew you back up, and then revive you, because that's what a surgery is. That's playing God. And you're only gonna basically almost kill somebody and revive them and kill them and revive them. And you're only gonna do that so many times where your body gives up. So with that mindset, I knew that my body needed to be in like superhuman shape as far as endurance and being able to deal with trauma without quitting.
And the plant-based diet.
And the plant-based diet. So when we got to March, and he tried to postpone now, I said, look, Doc, I don't think you understand that I put my whole life on hold and I go into pre-training mode like it's the Olympics, and I can't do this again. I need to see my slides. He said, okay. Do you know that the slide from November and the slide from March and February and January, none of them had what was on November's slide. It wasn't there. And he didn't want to tell me that. I believe. I can't say that for a fact, but all I know is that we almost went 90 days after it was an emergency to have this surgery in January. And in a nutshell, there was nothing there. And out of the 385 tumors that have been removed from my body, the only 2 that were malignant, that were cancerous, were the ones in 2012 before I went plant-based. Now, they were calling that a miracle, an anomaly for the first year. Then the second year came. Then the third year came. Man, he's still alive in the 4th year. Then the 5th year, yeah. And then people start really paying attention. And now we're tipping January 4th, it'll be 7 years on the planet past all scientific evidence to date.
Wow. Like, you've been doing this on your own, right? Putting out this message.
Exactly.
But in recent years, we've seen documentaries like What the Health come out, Forks Over Knives.
Yes, sir.
What's been your take on, like, the journey and the evolution of this movement?
The energy, you can see where the trajectory is going. We are not going back the other way. And it's just encouraging that all of this preaching, all of this talking has finally coming and resting on ears that are receptive, because I see it around the world. There's a shift. There's a shift in the information.
Shift in consciousness, right?
Yes. And at the end of the day, what we have globally is everybody. I've been on every part of the planet, and there's cancer everywhere. That's the thing. Like, everybody is sick in every country, and they're dealing with the problem the same way, and people are tired. Everybody has somebody that they know that has, we're 1 degree away from cancer. I know you know somebody. I know a lot of people. There's not a person in this world today that doesn't know somebody afflicted. That's the bottom. They either have it or know somebody with it, like directly in their personal circle. And that's why people are listening, because the doctors aren't winning. You can only talk so much. People are dying every day. That's the problem.
And so what's your message then to people that are dealing with these kind of conditions, when they're getting told by their doctors, just to kind of wrap this interview up, they're getting told by their doctors to do chemotherapy and this and that and pills here and there. What would you say to that?
My message to them is to do your own research. Don't just hand your life. I don't care how long you've known him, okay? There's 200 other people he has to care for, and it's not personal. This is his job. But if your life is on the line, you need to do your due diligence. You need to get your butt on Google. You need to see what this drug is he wants to put on you for 3 years. You got to take control of your health. That's the bottom line. Like, if I didn't take control and I just listened to what they said, I would not be here. Those are facts.
Where can people find you, man?
People can find me everywhere in the world. No, people can find me at d'anthonytrains@gmail.com. I'm on Instagram, d'anthonytrains. Where else am I at? I'm on Facebook, d'Anthony Evans. I'm on Twitter, @d'anthonytrains. And I'll be somewhere in your city very, very soon. Sending love, light, peace, and positive energy to you wherever you're at in the world. Be safe, be peace, be love. And please, please continue to be amazing to you. Peace.